Hello and welcome back to Just for Today. I'm Jamal Normie.
Hey, I'm Miranda, the recovering addict.
And today we're going to talk about, we're going to give an update on our COVID experience up till now. First thing, we got a scripture. It goes.
Today's scripture comes from 2 Corinthians 12:9. He said unto me, My grace is enough for you, because power is made perfect in weakness. So I'll gladly spend my time bragging about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power can rest on me.
So what do you get from that? I get that in our issues, we're able to get something positive out of them.
Yeah, like you always complain that you always say how I complain a lot. But I complain to get it out, like what this verse is saying is like, you talk about your weaknesses so it'll be recognized so Christ can,
I'm going to stop you right there. There is a complete difference saying that I'm cold, my toe hurts, my stomach hurts, my head hurts, I don't like the color of that. That's not the same as what that's saying. There's a difference. That's not a weakness.
I get that.
That's complaining.
It makes me feel better when I let it out instead of keeping it in.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. So also, we're moving another video about that later on in the future, but we just got a wall behind us and not a whole lot of lighting yet.
I feel like we're in a dungeon right now.
Yeah, it's coming along.
Like interrogated,
It does kind of seem like an interrogation room. Oh man, hopefully the lighting turns out good. But anyway, jumping into it, COVID. So how long has it been?
Like 5 months.
That's it.
4 months. Yeah.
Wait.
4.5 months.
That's it.
I know, it seems longer.
It seems like a while ago.
God, it seems like half of a year ago.
Yeah, and time is going. Time is so weird because the time goes by so fast, but things seem so far away.
Yeah.
In the moment it's slow. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so yeah, we've had it. We've recovered. I had the short condensed version. If you watch our other video, the headaches, the chills, everything tasted salty for a day, but all my stuff was combined and congested. And now, I don't know. I still feel like there's some lingering things. I swear, there's like this ringing that happens in my ears. A sound, not like a ringing, but like as though like a phone's ringing type of ringing. Like I hear this sound randomly. Nobody else hears it. I didn't have this issue before COVID, so I can't explain. I haven't done any research on it or anything, but
I mean that makes sense though. But I've never.
It's weird, and I feel like my phone's ringing. I go and look at my phone, and it's not. But I mean, it's the same sound every time. Let me know if any of you guys know what I'm talking about, or if this has happened to you, because I need to know.
Probably. There's like a page, like a group. I joined a Facebook group, for people who are suffering long-term effects of COVID, and it's like
recovering.
Like any symptom that you think of, like a lot of people are experiencing it. It's crazy.
Her, on the other hand, let's hear about some of your ongoing
I have a
issues.
list of things, and I'm trying to remember back to the last update. Definitely my brain. It's just crazy. In December, I legitimately had, people call it brain fog, but to me it was short-term memory loss. And it's a scary feeling. It's not even fun, I'm at work and I couldn't even remember if I did something, if I did a task. I remember I went to the bathroom and I came back to sit at my desk, and my nurse went to go to the bathroom and my heart drops because I'm I couldn't even remember if I flushed the toilet. So, and it's how you have that feeling of oh, I lost my train of thought. It's like that, but times 20. It's you're constantly it's not even that oh, I forgot what I'm saying. It's you can't find the word. You can't, you can't describe what you're trying to think. And it's frustrating because before I got COVID, I was I had a visual memory. So if I couldn't think of something, I can vision it and my train of thought, would find it. It reminds me of the game Taboo. I was awesome at it because whatever word that is, I can describe that word and people will pick up on it. And I can't even describe clues around the word that I'm trying to find. So it's and I still get it to this day. Like my mind doesn't work the same. It's not as quick. It's not as witty. It's just, I don't know, it's just an awful feeling, the whole memory. Like I just can't remember as much.
Yeah.
And then even like October now, in December and January, I get these like weird headaches, but it's like on the bottom of the base of my head. It's just like I never got headaches in the back of my head, and so I get this like weird feeling in the back of my head. I remember I would wake up in the middle of the night, and it's not like you have a kink in your neck, but it's kind of as if like it's just like stiff. And again, that's not normal for me. So people are like, oh, it's just a stiff neck, but that wasn't normal to me. To where I would just like wake up and I literally like could not twist my neck. It was like it would hurt. And then like my limbs would go numb. I would just be sitting there like on my phone, not in no weird position. My legs, my like thigh would go numb, and like my hands would go numb, like the tingling feeling, that would always go numb. And then like January, December, like I noticed like my hair, like us women, like our hair, strand falls out here and there, but like it was like, oh my gosh, that's like 5 pieces of hair at once, like it was constantly coming out, like a lot of,
a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who sheds more, her or our German Shepherd. Like there's hair everywhere.
Sure it's
But yeah.
But no, it's like, so my hair, I mean, and I've read up on it where there's cases of like, there's like severe cases where people are actually like losing like balls of hair. So I'm thankful that it's not like that yet. So I'm starting to take my vitamins.
Oh yeah?
2 days. 2 days in a row I got my vitamins in.
Like, I just wonder how much of this, and that's always in the back of my head also though, like, you did drugs for so long, how much of that affects, not necessarily that it's because of the drugs, but how putting your body in a state to where the reaction.
But see, I've read and heard a lot about this, but there's people who were even like healthy, exercising every day, like on top of their game, like they still have like, they get tired and weak, and so I don't know. Yeah.
It's so hard to. This virus is so strange. It's so tricky. It doesn't follow like the rules. Like it does its own thing.
Yeah.
Like I remember being so concerned and hesitant with it, about thinking that it was going to be a COPD, like a breathing type of issue, and that's not even on my list of issues that I have. Like it's all mental. Like it's not even, it doesn't seem like it's here. It's like here that the issues we're having. Yeah.
So we did this move, right? We moved our house. We bought a house, and like, I was like, man, like I'm not. I know you call me lazy. I'm out of shape or whatever you want to say, but like I just get so fatigued. I get so.
Wait. I didn't say you're lazy and out of shape. What are you talking about? You're gonna say this stuff, and they're gonna think that that's what I said. I didn't say it. Carry on.
Okay, so, but yeah, I get so fatigued. Like, even outside of that, just like doing like 2 hours of just, unpacking or whatever, like my body physically felt. And the only way I can describe it is like when you go to Disneyland or like a theme park and you're literally there like all day walking around, and like at the end of the day, like when you're on your way back home, like how drained your body feels, like your body aches, your muscles, your joints. Like I felt like an old lady, like and like I don't know, I get tired, and like even at work I haven't really had that midday tiredness for like a long time, and like now I'm starting to feel that, like I just get drained easily.
So I just want to add that if she could, she would sleep all day prior to this. So I just wonder how much of this is being blamed on COVID and how much of it is just.
Of course you do. Of course.
But there is
I do like to sleep. I do. I enjoy my naps. But this is a different type of exhaustion. Yeah. I'm not. I just want to nap because I'm like. It's not like a mental. Like before, all my naps are. I like to sleep because of like the brain in me, right? My brain just wanted to like shut down. But this is more of like a a body thing that wants to like sleep and just relax and rest.
Yeah, and you're just like, because I mean, we were fatigued. We were like when we had COVID, we were very, very fatigued. So that's, I wouldn't doubt it that it's. But again, like the chemistry, is it the chemistry type of thing? You know, the body that plus this attacking.
Yeah.
You know, someone that, not that we're both not the poster child for being healthy, but you know, I don't know. It's just it's so weird, huh?
Yeah, I don't think so. Like I think it hits everybody differently.
It does.
Like,
I agree with that.
yeah.
And then with her being in the medical field, so she got her first round of the vaccine. There's a lot of discussion with us about like if we're gonna do it or not, and what we thought about it.
A huge debate.
It's like I still don't know how I feel about it 100%, but
which I get. Like I was like that too. You know, in the very, very beginning, like when okay, so the shutdown happened in March, and like you know they're already talking about a vaccine like in May. I'm like, pump the brakes. I don't know. You know, like I was on that train too. Like I didn't feel comfortable how fast or whatever that it was being made, and you know who knows. I had that mentality, you know. But yeah, my boss, she's a doctor, and all she did nonstop from the beginning, because you know we weren't seeing patients constantly, so she was like behind the scenes just doing research, staying on top of the data that's coming in, and you know, and she would share that with us. So I was constantly getting fed all the updated information that was coming in about like, you know, how the vaccine's being made and all the studies and how it's affecting, you know, their game plan and stuff. So then, you know, come October, November, when it was like they were really pushing it, you know, to whether to start vaccinating in December, you know, there was a couple months there where I was like, I don't know, like the fact that I have access to it, you know, like I was afraid for you to get the vaccine because he does, you know, have an EpiPen, and he, you know, when that story came out, or if you have, if you're allergic to something where you get anaphylactic reactions, you know, try to avoid it. So I'm like, all right, let's just hold off on you getting it. My daughter's too young to get it, so I felt like I was, you know, the front line to like kind of shield the family. But you were really, really like, he was really on the fence, like so against it, and he was like upset. It was a big debate.
It was but
a big debate.
I Am Legend, like the idea of that, like you just, yeah, sure, everybody can run around in zombies, and me and my German Shepherd can run around shooting people, but the really idea of that, like that first scene is legitimately like how it works, how this person comes on TV and then they're like, we cured cancer, and they're like, and then X amount of months later, the X, Y, and Z's happen.
In a nutshell.
Well, the premise is quite simple. Take something designed by nature and reprogram it to make it work for the body rather than against it.
You're talking about a virus?
Indeed, yes, in this case the measles virus, which has been engineered at a genetic level to be helpful rather than harmful.
How many are cancer-free?
10,009.
So you have actually cured cancer?
Yes, yes. Yes, we have.
Granted, now I do feel somewhat different about it because you're not necessarily getting injected with the virus per se.
You had to learn. You do your own research. Like
you do, but at the same time, it's like, who do you trust for research? You know, you can sit up here and read something from somebody all the time, and then they're completely wrong. Like, unless it's your hands that's physically in something, like it's hard to just trust somebody with research like that.
That's true.
But the idea behind it makes sense, where it's a messenger telling the body how to react to it to an extent, but you're still getting injected with something. So,
and it wasn't so brand new. Like the idea of how the vaccine was going to be, you know, was being made has been in the works for like over 2 decades. And because of the way, you know, you put government, you put money, you put all these hands in the cookie jars, that's why it takes so long for a normal vaccine to come out.
yeah.
This was just like the perfect storm for the opportunity for them to use this technique to make this vaccine. Like it was high demand, everybody wanted it. Like, it doesn't matter how much it costs. Like, they were able to rush the studies. You know, they usually like, you know, the studies are usually like played out months and years, you know, but this was, you know, such an important, it's a, you know, pandemic. Like, the whole world needed it. So,
but at the same time, you know, people used to smoke cigarettes all the time and they thought that that was okay. And then it took years for them to figure out that, you know, that you're gonna die. Just because the world does something does not mean it's good, does not mean it's okay. And also, when it comes to a vaccine, the other part of it is trials. Like, there's the testing of it and the X, Y, and Z with animals and the people. It's not just about the politics of it. Like, there's other parts of it that takes a long time to figure out. I mean, theoretically, in my limited knowledge of it, it seems like it makes sense that you're not getting the actual virus, but then again, you are getting injected with some things and you can have adverse reactions to things later on down the line. It's not necessarily...
I mean, there's a risk with everything. So it's kind of like...
There's a risk without it,
you know,
just going out and getting COVID.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And people are saying, like, because, you know, the vaccine, I'm going to be sick for like 2 to 3 days. I mean, would you rather be sick for 2 to 3 days or like be on your deathbed on a ventilator? You know, you have to outweigh the
But then again, what if it takes off 10 years of your life down the line?
It's true.
So,
you know,
there's a risk either way.
And who knows, you know, 10 years from now, we're going to be looking back like, oh my God, I can't believe we all did that when there's like this way.
Yeah.
But, you know.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So
but
just
it's at least the beginning to the change, you know. It's like, I can't believe, like, we've been like literally hibernating, like, no joke. I think we're like the only ones that have hibernated. Like, everybody else has been living their life like nothing, you know, other than your mom too. Like, literally like hibernating for like a year. And it's not like, oh, I just want to go out and do stuff already, you know, but it's just like, I want to be part of the change, you know, like, if this is part of the change, like, get the ball rolling. And then a lot of people are like too hesitant to even do the vaccines. Like, we can't even build herd immunity until, like, you know, more people would, you know, agree to it.
And I'm not against vaccines, but
you don't even get the flu shot.
I don't get the flu shot. I mean, I do, but I don't. I mean, I just don't like needles. That was her getting her shot. That guy jammed that he like stabbed her with this needle.
You guys are gonna realize like, the exaggeration.
It's
that just goes to show that you have like a fear. So that fear is making you think that it's the needle's this big.
Well, yeah.
He's jamming it in.
He stabbed you.
Oh my God.
But he kind of did. But that's not what the issue is with this. It's just that research has to be done with things. When you're doing something on a global scale like this, there has to be, it can make sense to things, like, especially coming from a world of, and I've been in the medical field, I've done things like that. Like, when you understand the basis of something, you can branch from that. I am also in computer science and understand that, like, you could do something 100 times and one of these times it doesn't go the way that you expect it to go for no apparent reason. It just doesn't. So research has to be done, and when you're releasing something on a global scale like this, that's scary. That has nothing to do with the needles, has nothing to do with anything like that. Like, it makes sense to what they're saying. Sometimes things will make sense until it doesn't, though, is the thing. And then we're not God, so it's like. I
mean, but there is a science. I mean, again,
I know there's a science,
this didn't happen in 2020. Like this, they didn't just start this form of this vaccine. Like, it's not, you know, it didn't just like, oh, let's try this way, and this is the first time ever it being tried. It's not. Again, just do your research. You know, and I gave you
the stuff that you guys have read. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully everything goes great. If it doesn't, I told you that so. But if it does, then great. Yeah. But if it doesn't.
Yeah, so my first shot, because I had COVID, right? So now they're doing research, and now they're doing studies on the effects of people who've had COVID versus like their antibodies, and then, you know, getting the vaccine. When I got my vaccine, I got the Pfizer, right? It didn't hurt at all. Actually, like, the flu shot was more intense than this shot. Didn't even have a sore arm. I didn't feel like nothing. So I'm like, did they just give me saline? you know? And so when I went to my doctor and my boss and I told her, and she's like, oh, that's strange. Like they thought that people who had the virus would have a more of a reaction to the vaccine. But I kind of think that it's opposite. I think that if you've had the virus, it makes sense that your body already has the antibodies, which I was checked for antibodies, so I do have antibodies before I even got the vaccine. But it makes sense that my body's already familiar with the virus, so when I'm getting injected with that messenger, like my body's not going to react because it's like, oh hey, I know who you are, I know what to do, I know this. So now they're doing new studies to see if people who had COVID, their immunity might be at that 90% with just one vaccine instead of having the two. You know, because again, if you can save a vaccine for somebody else who is at higher risk, or I'd rather give it to them. Because I already feel kind of bad getting the vaccine because I'm like, well, I have antibodies.
But again, though, see, this is me not having this unlimited amount of knowledge in this subject. Like that makes complete sense. Why would you have a negative reaction when all they're doing is injecting you and your messenger, the messenger? So all it's doing is basically making your body think that you had the virus. Mm-hmm. But if you already had the virus, your body already thinks that. Mm-hmm. So how did they not think about this before? This is the kind of stuff that makes me kind of hesitant on stuff like this, because that's like...
I'm sure that they have, but it's just, they need a specific amount of data to release it. So I'm sure that, they have that information.
Which is the research I was talking about.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's out there, but it's just, us, the public, it's limited to what we have access to or what they release to us, because it does get political or whatever.
Everything gets political.
Yeah.
But anyway, what are you saying about your? So you got the shot.
Yeah, I'm just saying my reaction. Like I had no reaction whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing, a lot of people getting, but you're just down for not just down for 2 days, but like, you're under the weather for 2 days. More so with the Moderna for whatever reason, the Moderna one. And I've heard that the younger population, they're getting more of a reaction versus like the older population. Like I have a lot of older patients, so they just get soreness on the arm, and that's pretty much it. And then like the younger ones, they get fever, chill. They feel like they're sick for 2 days, And it's like
it makes sense because when you say younger, how young?
Yeah, like I don't know, from like 18 to 30, 25 or whatever.
So the ones that are supposed to be resilient to it, and you're forcing them.
We're more resilient because I'm assuming, this is my theory, like the older population, they've been exposed to a lot more stuff, and so the younger people in there, they haven't been. I don't know.
Well, I think it's just more like, so they're resilient to it in general, like, so it's harder for like 18, like Ariana might have had it, we don't know. So when you're younger and you're resilient to it, and this is all speculations, we have no PhDs and nothing
at all,
that you're now forcing that change to happen. So I'm just I don't know, those are just speculations. But at any rate,
do your research.
Do your research.
Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to, talk to your doctor.
Talk to doctors, plural, not just one. Do research, someone that you trust. Yeah. It's just so hard. Research gets so bogged down with things these days. It's so hard to do research on things. Trust, but at least start with doctors. Like, don't go by the news. The news is just, they're about money and politics. Do your research. But at any rate, that's all the time we have for today. Let us know, have you gotten it? What do you feel about this whole thing? Leave a comment below. This could be our first step. Let's start a conversation. But remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Most importantly, though, just remember to keep coming back.
Stay clean.
Bye. You got it?
I don't know if I can remember it, though.
Oh my gosh. On it. You don't remember all that?
This is my whole COVID experience.
Oh my gosh.
12/9. Okay. I can't see myself.
Well, put on your glasses.
Like, is the lighting okay? I don't even know what the lighting looks like.
Hello, welcome. Wow.
Get off my...
3.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Gosh.
My glasses. I'm gonna... What do I do?
You put on your glasses and you
I
read.
can't. So I'll get.
So you gonna talk about your vaccine?
Oh, I'm gonna get into that.
I mean,
the
it's
vaccine?
COVID update. It's part of COVID, right?
Oh, yeah, and I would get like my heart would race after I would take a nap.
Most importantly, that's all messed up. It was on the list. But most importantly,
I
do
know
all
my
the
hair is
things.
gonna be horrible.
It probably is.
You need like editing stuff so you can like edit.
What?
You can like Photoshop.
No. Got anything?
So yeah, no,
That's it?
I think so.